Of unlimited possibilities presents Creating Your Seat at the Table with your host, Ashley Little, as she welcomes her guest to the table.
Welcome to Creating Your Seat at the Table. I am your host, Ashley Little. A little bit about myself: corporate professional by day, entrepreneur by night, 5-time best-selling author, CEO and founder of Ashley Little Enterprises, LLC, owner and creator of Creative Broadcasting, and co-founder and owner of Talk Radio and TV Network, LLP. Tonight we have an amazing special VIP guest by the name of Brandy Avery. A little bit about her. Brandy Avery is a social entrepreneur and successful business owner with over 15 years of professional experience in business, corporate, and nonprofit management. She is the founder and CEO of the Financial Power Network, LLC, a social fintech firm combining technology and social entrepreneurship to deliver financial education solutions, including a range of economic empowerment initiatives designed to close the wealth gap. Her commitment to financial freedom for all came through personal experiences, surviving poverty, homelessness, and conquering her own financial challenges has helped her to empathize with more than 10,000 people whose financial profiles she has personally reviewed. As a multi-licensed financial education specialist, she leads the Financial Power Network movement and is responsible for the innovation and implementation of over a dozen financial education initiatives, and having personally presided over 5,000 hours of in-class financial educational workshops. Brandy's body of work includes finding We Fintech, a financial education mobile app, co-founding Keys to Black Wealth, co-founding the financial capabilities of Network of Central Ohio, and the creation, implementation, and management of the 700 Credit Score Columbus Community Initiative. She is the author of the 4-week Financial Power Plan, an executive producer of Financial Coach Master Training, a 6-week online accelerated certification. Brandy is a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, Leadership Columbus, Women for Economic and Leadership Development, Columbus Chapter of NAACP, National African American Insurance Association, and Central Ohio African American Chamber of Commerce. Brandy is a wife and stepmom and enjoys traveling, working out, and reading as a mode of relaxation. Welcome to the table, the amazing Brandy Avery.
Thank you for having me. I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
You are welcome. I am so excited for the wisdom and knowledge that you're going to share with my audience tonight concerning financial education and all the great things that you're doing. So would you please tell us, Brandy, more about your amazing entrepreneur journey?
Yes. So my entrepreneurship journey, you know, everybody has these stories, and I think that's the best thing about the entrepreneurship journey is the stories that we have, and we're able to share and tell. And, you know, my story starts just like everyone else. I had a dream, you know, and I wanted, for me, it was about freedom, and it was about really exchanging my time for, you know, the time that I was putting into work, but still wanting to help people, serve, you know, make good money, all of the above. And I was at the Ohio State University Medical Center. I will never forget this time period in my life. Had been there for almost 9 years, and I got the entrepreneurship bug. You know, it just jumped up on me, and really just started reading and getting more engulfed into books and conversations and people who was out here really doing it and living the lifestyle that they desired. And after 9 years of working at the Ohio State University Medical Center, I got really good at my job. Actually, I started off as a financial controller. I was actually the person who decided if a person had a payer source, enough financial means on task to be able to get their procedures, their medical procedures. So I worked for high-dollar cases, individuals who had heart, liver, lung, kidney transplants, and I was the person who decided if you had a payer source, if you had the financial means necessary to be able to pay for your procedures. And I got really good at my job, fell in love with it, and people started asking me, can they consult with me? That's really how I kind of recognized that, hey, I must be really good at something, because people wanted to work with me outside of work. And, you know, after just, you know, looking at the situation at hand, I decided that I was going to start my own business, which is when I left after 9 years working at the Ohio State University Medical Center and launched the Financial Power Network in 2012.
I love that. It's so amazing how when you don't, you know, you're not thinking about it, but then people start reaching out to you about, you know, things that you're doing. And you're like, well, maybe I should step out and do it, right? And that's kind of how you started in entrepreneurship. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's exactly how I got started. I just realized I had a skill and a talent, and I got really into the financial service industry and showing people how to navigate the hospital system and dealing with catastrophic illnesses. It was life or death. And I just really got into it, and people weren't just a number to me. I really started taking ownership in my patients and their stories. And, I just got the entrepreneurship bug, and people start putting things in my head like, you should start consulting, you'll be really good at this. And, the thought of making my own schedules and just kind of really dictating my lifestyle, it just became something that I could not turn my back on. And the people I was attracted to was the people who was in that space. So, I said, I'm going to take that leap. And I took the big leap. You know how you take the big chop? I took the big leap.
You took a big leap, and you have been very successful. And that's why, for our listeners that are listening, take that jump. You never know what's on the other side of the jump. So.
Exactly.
So, B, you are very passionate about financial freedom through personal experiences. You have survived poverty, homelessness, and conquered your own financial freedom. So please tell us more about your passion to close the wealth gap.
Yeah, so, my experience, it goes back to as early as I can remember myself, my two sisters, and my mother. We experienced poverty and homelessness direct, straight on. And, I always say there is a difference because sometimes people feel like they're struggling, they're broke, and things are real bad, but there's definitely a difference between being in poverty and just being broke, just not having enough to get, all the things you want, and then living in poverty is without basic needs and necessity like water, shelter, food, things of that nature. And, we experienced it straight on from that standpoint. And, that was like some of my earliest experiences that shaped my understanding of the have and the have-not. Understanding that there is something that we're dealing with and we're going through in life that other people are not experiencing. And then even as I got older, understanding that people are really living a real, real good life, and they have everything that they need. They have full access to wealth and tools and finances and money. And then there are some people who doesn't have it at all. So, and that's really what the wealth gap is. It's really the difference between, the have and the have-nots. And even when you start looking at like America middle class, and they're saying right now like America middle class is eroding, meaning that the wealth gap is getting wider, it's expanding. If you look at 50 years ago, people have more assets and access than they have today in relation to 50 years ago. So it's a financial crisis going on, and we really need to get that wealth gap closed because right now 1% of Americans own 40% of Americans' wealth. And the wider that wealth gap gets, the more that we're going to get behind as middle America, and we're not going to be able to live the lifestyle that we desire, nor give our children and our legacies, the people who's coming up after us, that lifestyle, that great American dream that we're all striving to get to.
I love that because that's just so important, and we're going to touch more into that tonight, which I'm happy about, so our listeners can understand how important financial education is. So, B, you are the founder and CEO of the Financial Power Network, LLC, a social fintech firm. So please tell our listeners more about your firm and how we can support and get involved.
Yes. So the Financial Power Network, again, when I left the Ohio State University Medical Center, that was my first organization. I wanted to develop a consultancy firm. It is a full-service consultancy and education firm. So we provide tools and resources. We provide education, classes, workshops, all of the above to help people get ahead. We have a couple of specializations. One thing that we just recently launched is the umbrella company, Financial Power Network is, and one thing that we recently launched after looking at the wealth gap and really what's going on with the state of, Black America and then financial wellness overall, we turn towards fintech, financial technology. So when you look at the website and you look at some of the things that we've been doing, we've really been looking at ways that we can scale our services, serve more clients, and also do it quicker, faster, more efficient, and then also more affordable as well. So we actually just recently launched fintech, which is a financial technology platform, which is also called fintech. It's a financial technology platform, and this is basically a financial initiative on wheels. It's designed to help people with systematic savings, debt elimination, spending, cash flow tracker, and then also giving individuals access to financial education and financial advising. And that's super affordable. So we started by surveying over 1,000 individuals from all across the United States of America, and our survey results showed that time, cost, accessibility, and shame were the number one barriers that's preventing individuals from tackling their personal finances and economic progression. So we wanted to create a product and a solution that's going to help individuals eliminate all those barriers so that they, too, can tap in and access the information and the knowledge and the tools that's needed for forward progress.
Amazing. So congratulations on all the great things that you have done.
Thank you.
Creating that space. And that app, the fintech app, talk to us more about the mobile app and how we can download it and get involved. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so fintech is a very interesting space. It's really recent. It's fairly new. It's kind of come about, the wave kind of hit 2015, and now the wave is just kind of really revving up and people are really understanding it. But it's basically the combination between technology and financial services. And what's going on right now, like I've conducted programs and workshops. I'm a curriculum designer. I have books in education. But what I found, and even what our survey showed, is that no matter what, people don't have the discretionary income that it takes really to access financial tools and resources, and then also being able to work with a financial advisor. Like if you go to some places, you have to have $5,000, $10,000, $2,500 asset under management before they will talk to you and help guide you along this process. Well, what we wanted to do is eliminate all those barriers. So you can actually download We Fintechs in 2020. So it's going to be available first quarter of 2020, February of 2020. And individuals will be able to download the app directly from their iPhone or their Android as well. And there's a lot of information on our website, which is We Fintech. So it's like we, like you and I, We Fintechs, financial techs, wefintechs.com. And you can download, you can go on the website and get all the information and all the updates and subscribe. We have a newsletter that comes out, and everything is going to be keeping people abreast of what's going on with the application.
Amazing. So for our listeners that are listening, don't forget to download this amazing app coming the first of the year in February, correct? Brandy?
Yes.
In February.
Yes, that's correct.
Yes, creating this space for people who don't, like you stated, have the opportunity to hire a financial advisor or have the time.
Exactly.
Definitely download the app and get the help. So, Brandy, why do you think people lack financial education? And I know you spoke a little bit about it with, shame and time loss, but is there anything else that you would say?
Well, when you really think about the psychology of money, and we actually, I do a couple of things, a couple of seminars in the community, and we have to kind of go back to the psychology of money. And when we think about money and the way that we manage it, it's all about our relationships with money, and those relationships are typically shaped early on. So you have, you talk about nurture versus nature, right? You always have that conversation when you think about development. Well, it even goes that deep when you think about money and your relationship with money. You have to look at how were you introduced to money as a child. Did you have resources? Did you have access? Were you at the table with your parents? Were you taught to save? You keep going. When you were in high school, what did you do with that first job? What were you doing with those resources, those financial resources? You go to college, you hear all these horror stories about people who are suffering from student loan debt, which is the most vicious type of debt that most Americans face in the United States of America. Those are things that it's just a lack of knowledge. Knowledge is power. I always say money is a tool and a resource. That's all it is. It's a tool and a resource, and there's all different types of resources, commodities, things that you can use to purchase and get things that you want. There's money, currency, gold, bartering and trading, all of the above. And I think that people, number one, it is very important. I always say money is not the most important thing, but it's up there with oxygen. So it is very important. However, I think that people need to understand it is an instrument. And in order to be able to utilize this instrument, this tool, you have to know the rules and regulations. You have to know how to play it. So I think that it really comes down to understanding how to use, the fiscal instruments that we typically have at our resource. So it's a lack of education. It's a lack of information. There's a quote that I say that financial education is the most tangible resource that you can use to change your financial situation. Financial education is the most tangible resource that you can use to change your financial situation, period.
I love that. Financial education is the most important tool to use to change your financial situation, correct? I love it.
Correct. That's it.
Okay.
I mean, there's people who's millionaires. I was just actually watching a little thing on the Breakfast Club with T-Pain, I think he went from like $80 million in one day, one situation, one scenario at one point in time in his life, from $80 million to not even having enough money to purchase his daughter a birthday gift. So that's why we say education is so critical, because he had those principles, that education, that knowledge. He could have perhaps made some different changes and some different moves and pivoted a little way as far as how he was utilizing his financial resources to make sure he had something set aside for a rainy day. So that's how critical it is. We hear all these stories about wealthy people filing bankrupt. You know, it goes on and on and on, and it really comes down to knowledge is power.
Yes, that is so true. So why is it important, Brandy, to teach our kids financial education at a young age?
You know, I really think it's about legacy. You know, and it goes back to the nurture. I mean, and it's really about legacy. You know, first of all, it's critically important because we want our children to live a better life than we live. That's really how it's supposed to be. You know, we want our kids to, you know, have a better experience in life than we did. And if we really are going through life and we're picking up these keys and these gems as we're going through, we're supposed to be passing it down to our loved ones. It's critical so that they won't make the same mistakes that we've made, and then simply just so that they can have that good life. I always say be a blessing, not a burden when you check out. It's interesting, and when you start thinking about life and death, and, you know, I know it's deep and it's heavy for people. They don't, you know, it's hard to tackle. I mean, even for me, it's hard to tackle life and death. But here's the guarantee. We're all going to check out. That's the guarantee, period. That's just the cycle of life. Don't shoot me, I'm just the messenger. You know, we are all going to check out. So it's critically important to make sure that our legacy lives on, and how we do that is with our loved ones. And how we ensure that our legacy lives on is making sure that the next generation behind us lives a better life than we lived.
Yes, and thanks for, you know, shining light on that, because that's so important, right? That we create that legacy. Creating legacy is so important for our listeners to know. And when and this is just something that I say for us for the holidays, right? Buy them some stock, buy them a savings bond, create that legacy.
Exactly. I mean, it's Christmas coming up, and, you know, people, it's the holidays, and people go broke, and they get stressed out. They suffer from seasonal depression. There's a lot of different things in the financial wellness industry dealing with money and emotional disorders. And people really, you know, have that emotional experience when you go into the holidays, because, you know, they're trying to keep up with the Joneses or whatever the situation may be. But to your point, buy something everlasting, buy something that's going to reproduce and regenerate as time goes forth, and then your child or, you know, your loved one has equity or, you know, some stocks or something to fall back on to when they turn 18. I think about when I turned 18, and I don't know about your situation, but I would have loved to have $20,000, $25,000, you know, anything to be able to start. You don't start off on it. It's hard getting started. It's very hard getting started from turning, you know, going from an 18-year-old living with your parents to, even if you go to college or even if you don't go to college, it's still difficult. And it would really be great. It would be really great if we positioned ourselves and our children and our loved ones to be able to enter into our adulthood with a high credit score, with some money in a bank, and with some financial knowledge so that they can get started, and it's not so hard. It's not so difficult. So many times we're behind the playing field, and we're trying to catch up because we didn't get that information when we were younger.
And key word you just said, get that information. The information is powerful, right? That knowledge.
That's powerful. That's it.
Powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a quote that's the new source of wealth is not money in the hands of many, but not money in the hands of few, but information in the hands of many. So the new source of wealth is not money in the hands of few, but information in the hands of many. Knowledge is power. And we underestimate the value of, you know, knowing things.
Yep, life-changing. And now I want to talk about your book, right? You are the author of the 4-Week Financial Power, right?
Yes.
And please tell us more about your book and how we can purchase it.
Yeah, so the 4-Week Financial Power Plan is a workbook. So let me start by saying it is a workbook. It is it's designed to be a self-study, but also if you want to work one-on-one with me or any of my coaches, you can consult with us as well. But for individuals who may not have that time or those resources, some of those barriers that we discussed earlier, it is a book. You can go right to the financialpowernetwork.net and purchase the book right on the website. The book is only $25, and it's going to tackle every aspect of your financial plan. So systematic savings, budgeting, debt elimination. The credit chapter is amazing, and then wealth creation. So you have 5 chapters dealing with financial elevation, financial wellness, financial freedom, and it is a workbook, so it's going to challenge you. It's going to give you reading material. It's going to check you, pulse checks, and then also it's going to give you some assignments so that you can actually apply application of knowledge, apply everything that you're learning to your own personal financial plans and goals, and be able to experience, financial wellness and elevation. So it's the 4-week Financial Power Plan Live. It's a workbook, and you can purchase it right on the website at financialpowernetwork.net.
You're pretty much giving it away for, you're giving all of it away kind of for free, right? People have to set up a time to be with you. They can just buy the study guide and do it.
Exactly. And it's a great gift, too, for Christmas as well. Like if you have a loved one who's, entering into dealing with financial transactions or may have had some struggles in the past, it's a great stocking stuffer to be able to give to individuals. So that, again, you can give something tangible. I know for me, I always give my children, I have a 10-year-old and also my nephew as well, and I always give my kids workbooks, for school, like math, reading, all of the above, language, spelling. I always give them workbooks, but we don't think about adults and things like that. There's like adult coloring books. Well, we got adult financial books as well, and it's great for, young adults. We've had people as young as 16 years old who've been able to handle the content in the book, as well as 60 years old, and on, who can still use these principles because it's very relevant. In fact, what we notice with our young people, our 16, 17, 18, and on up, they're experiencing a lot of adult financial problems. So they really need this information early on, and it's a great piece of information that's going to test their knowledge. And then also it's going to, encourage them to apply what they're learning to their personal finances.
And that's so great, right? You putting it out there, and then they're pretty much creating ways to solve the problem, right, of whatever's going on with their finances. That's awesome. That's awesome. Because I think people get so used to everybody telling them that until you do it, right, until you actually start working to do it, you're not going to change it.
Exactly. It's so funny you said that because I was working with a client over the weekend, and, she was frustrated because I'm just not giving it to her. I'm not just handing her the answers. And I had to explain to her, as I explained when we first started the process, as I explained to all my clients, this is an educational journey. So I'm not, I specialize in credit. A lot of people come to me, fix my credit, and I can easily do all of this, write your letters, send it into credit bureaus, and your credit score is going to increase. But that's not teaching you anything. I mean, that's the problem with the credit industry as it is now. I mean, it goes back to the old saying, if you give a man a fish, he eats for a day, but if you teach a man a fish, he eats for a lifetime. So what we're doing is trying to break down those barriers, and we got to start reading and getting into this information. Again, it's about knowledge, and you have to unpack this. And it's also customized because financial education, this stuff is particularly pertaining to your own financial situation. So that's what people fail to realize as well. When they are dealing with financial educators and financial advisors, yes, we are great. We have the tools and resources. We are money movers. We have the licenses to be able to move transactions. However, it's all individualized. So your goals is going to be different from another person's goals. So you really need to get into the material and understand how you want to apply this to your goals. When I'm raising credit scores, it's not, okay, we can get you a 700 credit score, but what are your goals? Is it to purchase a home? Are you looking to get an apartment? Are you looking to get a vehicle? Because that's going to change the trajectory of how we tackle raising your credit score. And that's a knowledge piece, understanding that it's going to be a different process depending on what your goals are.
That's powerful. That is so powerful, right? And I love that, like I stated, that you making them figure it out, right? Figure it out.
Got to. If not, we're going to be right where we are.
Right. We got to do the work. I think people have to, and I'm so glad you're shining more on that, doing the work, right? Because I think a lot of people, like I stated, they get away from doing the work. They want the finished result, but nobody wants the process.
Exactly.
So you are the executive producer of Financial Coach Master Training. It's an online certification, accelerated certification program. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so the Financial Coach Master Training, FCMC, is an online certification program. It's really designed for individuals who's within the financial service industry, no matter where they are in the industry, whether you're a real estate agent, insurance agent, someone who's interested in tapping into the financial coaching industry, advisory, or it also can be for individuals who's interested in tapping into a business, becoming an entrepreneur, becoming a business owner. It's a 6-week course. It could be, I guess, completed in 6 weeks. However, we've had people who's in the course, for the last 7, 8, because they love the, just the resources and the network. But it's an opportunity for people to come and get all the tools, all the keys that they need to be able to launch a successful financial service program. Right now, with the numbers that's going on, 40% of Americans don't even have $400 saved in a liquid account for an emergency. So that's 40% of all Americans don't even have $400 for an emergency. 50% of Americans don't even have a retirement saved up. So what that means is there is a huge need for more people to tap into this industry and become educators so that we can help people become financially free. And the Financial Coach Master Training does exactly that. It's an accelerated course. It's online. Again, I do a lot with fintech, financial technology, being able to provide resources and tangible tools to individuals who's looking for the bag, looking how to get involved in the industry, looking how to help more people. And we offer this course right online, and you can go to the website as well, financialpowernetwork.net. You can go right to the website as well, and all that information, all the details on how to access the course is on the website.
Awesome. So definitely, listeners, make sure you go check it out and get involved in this certification program. It's open to everybody. So I'm loving that you don't have a certain group, right? Real estate, insurance, different people in the financial industry that it can help, correct?
Absolutely.
Brandy?
Everybody under the sun. Yep.
So, Brandy, you have created multiple tables, built your own tables, but I always ask my guests this question. How did you create your seat at the table?
Oh, you leave a heavy question for last. So, for the end. So, really, first of all, becoming an entrepreneur is really tough. So, what you see on social media and you see, the end result, sometimes you don't get to see like the ugly. And it's the good, the bad, the ugly. It has been a journey. And I just want your listeners to know that it's a journey. It's a marathon. And that's really why you have to be committed to this journey. It's going to test your mental capacity, your emotional capacity, your financial capacity, definitely. For me, it was really about not being able to see the results that I wanted to see for my community. I'm very passionate about what I do as a financial education specialist. I say this, and I was just talking to a group of people last week. There's people who grow up to be great NBA players, great NFL players, star tennis players, professional golf players, and there's people who become amazing doctors, amazing lawyers, and there's people who become amazing financial advisors. So that's really me and understanding my space and my gifts and my talents. And, when I saw that, number one, the resources that my people need wasn't being directed directly to my people, that's a problem. So I'm a disruptor, I'm an innovator, and that's what we do. When we see problems, we find a solution. And my solution was creating my networks of individuals, my support system, and making sure that we are giving out the keys that the people need to be able to experience financial elevation. And that's really what it boils down to, just having a purpose, having a mission, and knowing exactly where you're going and exactly how you're going to get there.
I love that. I am a disruptor. I love that we speak in the same language. You have to disrupt some things to solve some things.
Honey, we got to shake it up, shake them up, shake them up, shake them.
Right. I love it. So a lot of people don't like the process, right? But the process is the door to get into the next level. So, Brandy, what did failure teach you on your journey?
Oh, my God. I failed so many times. So, fail forward, period. You got to fail forward. And really, I think what failure does is it really tests your level of commitment and dedication. It really is going to, weed out the winners from the losers, because really everybody fails. If you read any book that you read, any millionaire, anybody who's made it, whether it's Oprah, from all of the above, everyone has had their failures. You just got to change your mindset. It's all about mindset and changing the way that you are experiencing these situations. I started calling myself an information collector. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not even looking. I'm just out here collecting information, and sometimes it's collecting the no's. Like, how many no's can you get today? Because if you're collecting those no's, if you're getting those no's, then eventually you're going to start getting those yeses. And always fell forward as well. Like, it's all a mindset. Everything's about mental capacity, mindset. If you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. It's an old quote, we know it, but it's really true. And it's really about how you are allowing information, experiences, things that you encounter, how are you allowing those things to be able to affect your progress and how you maneuver through life? It's going to happen. I mean, even with financial services, I always say, money is not a problem preventer, it's a problem solver. It ain't going to prevent the problems from coming. It's just going to solve them when they come. So it's the same thing when you're looking to be creating your own table, when you're looking to disrupt something or some industry. You're going to have problems. They're going to come, but it's just being able to solve those problems and being able to hack them and maneuver through them so that you can experience that elevation. So it's all about mindset, and that's really why it's critically important. And you hear a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of people who have made it, a lot of people who are wealthy. You hear a lot of people in this space talking about reading. First of all, readers are leaders, period. And we are always filling our minds with positive things, positive messages, so that when those situations do come, when we are faced with those trials and tribulations, we're mentally equipped, we're mentally strapped to be able to overcome it, which is why reading is fundamental, and also having a strong mindset. That's going to get you through a lot.
Yes, that strong mindset, right? Because everything starts in the mind. That's what people don't. You got to realize it's all about mindset, right? That's the only way you're going to change anything. It has to start in your mind. Those affirmations,
mindset and vision.
Yes, what you tell yourself and how you speak and what you say out your mouth will determine everything.
Yep, there's life and death in the power of the tongue. That's as true as it comes, right there. You can speak all kind of things into your life, so you better speak something positive.
That's right. That's right. So what did success teach you, Brandy, because you're very, very successful?
I think success basically, it made me become more humble because when I think about where I've come from and what I've achieved today, I know the difference between those two. And it makes me become very conscious of life and then the quality of life, the preciousness, the time. Success has really taught me a lot about time and trading your time for, so many different things, family, being able to spend time doing the things that you want to do. Those have been some of the greatest principles about life, is just really what's important. Like, it makes you more humble, it makes you more grateful, it makes you more appreciative, more conscious, more real. It's really helped me become more spiritual, more virtuous, and it's an interesting concept because it takes so much. You have to give so much of yourself to be able to get to so many different levels of success. You start to appreciate the small wins. Every single day you start to appreciate, and celebrate the small things that some people may not even see it as a big thing, but you worked your butt off for it. You went and got it. You put your, mind to it, and you did it, and you conquered and succeeded. So success definitely teaches you how to become more humble, how to become more grateful, and also how to value and appreciate people and time.
Appreciate people and time. That is so important, because we can't get that back. We can't get time back.
Period. That's the only thing you can't get back.
And staying humble. That's so key. That's so key. And I had a recent interview where I had a guest that said, study your wins. So I'm so glad that you said celebrate small wins, because celebrating small wins and studying your wins is so important. I love that.
Absolutely.
So what can we expect from you? We're getting ready to walk into into a new decade, right, Brandy? Not just another year, but a new decade, and we're a couple of days away. So what else can we expect from you the rest of 2019? Because the countdown has started.
It has started, but what's so crazy? My network is in overdrive right now, so that's why it's critically important to surround yourself with people who's on the same mission that you are in, because number one, you can leverage, that skill set and that energy to move forward faster. So number one, it's all about leveraging resources. So my network is in overdrive right now. Like we're in the fourth quarter, like it's the first quarter. Like some people like settling down, like trying to relax, and we ain't booking meetings. Well, my team is like an overdrive, so we have a powerhouse. One thing you can expect from me, I guess my two main focuses going into the next 2020, the next decade, is the financial technology piece. We fintech, we're getting ready to blow that out the water. Our number one goal is to serve 1 million people by 2022. So of course that starts today. That's an everyday process. process, being able to achieve that goal. We're trying to help free 1 million people by 2022, and the power of technology will allow us to do so. And then the other thing that I'm really focused on is another venture that I have co-founded is my Keys to Black Wealth. Keys to Black Wealth combines edutainment, so education, and entertainment to be able to give the keys to wealth to the African-American community. Our whole mission is to be able to help people induce the cycle of generational wealth. So we're trying to eliminate the cycle of generational poverty, and we're trying to help people obtain generational wealth. So that is a huge movement that's taking place, and we will be kicking off with some strong things for 2020 with our first event, which is going to be a media day happening in Columbus, Ohio. It's going to be a little exclusive, invite only, and then after that we have our first Keys to Black Wealth Think Tank, which is January 28th. It's always going to be the fourth Tuesday of every month at 6 p.m. at Burger M, downtown Columbus, Ohio. And we have people from all across the country who's attended our events because they go real hard. We have a great time, but we also learn a lot as well. So those are going to be our two main focuses coming into 2020, ending the year off on those two and picking it right back up in 2020, which is Keys to Black Wealth, and then We FinTech, our financial technology platform.
Amazing. Congratulations in advance for all the great things that you have going on that you're about to do, okay? Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
And I love the fact that you say y'all are in overdrive. That's why that energy is so important. Those energies that you are around and the people that you are around is so important with how your destiny is going to end up.
I'm going to tell you 2 words, and this is coming out of our Keys to Black Wealth. We had a guest speaker. She's super dope. Her name is Tia. 2 words that she left us with, this was, I think, October. We were talking about the power of marketing. But 2 words she said is joint venture. And if you don't have no good people around you, go get you some partners. Go partner up with some people because this thing is too big to do alone no matter what you're tackling. Go get you some dope partners and get this thing done quick because this is lights, camera, action. This is not a trial run. This is live and living color, right. Okay?
Right. Joint ventures and dope partners for all of our listeners that are listening.
Go get you some dope people to help you carry the load. That way you can divide your resources and get the job done.
Because if it's just you by yourself, your vision is too small.
It's too small. Yep, you said it. That's it. That's all. Period.
Period. So
with a T.
So you please tell our listeners, Brandy, how they can follow you, connect with you, and contact you on all social media platforms.
Yes, so IG, follow me on IG. It's just my name, Brandy, middle initial N as in Nicole, Avery. So that's my IG account. I'm definitely on Facebook as well, which is B Avery, Brandy Avery. For my social media platforms, We FinTech, we have an IG as well as We FinTech. We also have the website, which is wefintech.com. And then also you can connect with me directly on LinkedIn as well, which is Brandy N Avery as well.
So definitely connect with Brandy. She is doing some amazing things. She's definitely somebody to know, somebody to connect with. Definitely, listeners, follow her, contact her, and start collaborating. Make 2020 your year of collaboration. As we stated, joint ventures and dope partners if you want to get to the next level. So, Brandy, thank you so much for taking time out of your very, very busy schedule to come to the table tonight. This has been a powerful interview, and I can't wait to invite you back.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
You are welcome. I look forward to working with you and collaborating with you in the future.
All right. Take care.
Thank you. So I would like to give a special thanks to Tammy Collins Marquis and John Schamberger. I would also like to give a special thanks to Kimberly McLemore and my intern, Sarah, from Tennessee State University, and my intern, Vontaria, from Winston-Salem State University. You all may follow me on Facebook at Ashley Little and on Instagram at _Ashley A. Little. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Creating Your Seat at the Table, where Ashley speaks with corporate professionals, celebrities, entrepreneurs, authors, and speakers who are transitioning or have transitioned to entrepreneurship.